Do you need some help with boudoir posing ideas? Maybe sexy selfies, maybe something with a client? Well, you've come to the right place. Normally I would be saying, hey, welcome back to the Bucks and Boudoir studio, but we're not in the studio today. We are actually in my house, and that is because I want to run through some posing ideas that you can either take yourself so that you got some really sexy, sensual photos to pick you up on a bad body image day, or maybe send to somebody special. Some boudoir photographers shoot out of their homes, so I thought maybe shooting out of my home today would spark some inspiration. I actually used to shoot out of my home in this room, and it's set up pretty similar to when I shot clients here, so if I can do it, you can certainly do it. And then, of course, there are boudoir photographers out there who do have their own studios, but odds are your studio looks a lot different than my studio. So why not pose and talk about posing in a different space? So welcome into my home, and let's jump into a few sofa poses that you can either do yourself or guide your boudoir clients through. Let's get into it. So let's talk about sofa posing. There's really three ways that we can use a sofa when we want to take boudoir photos, and that would be sitting on the ground and using it and resting on it and leaning on it, kneeling on the sofa, laying on the sofa, or sitting on the sofa. I probably wouldn't recommend standing on the sofa unless you really trust your furniture, and I do not. So I want to start today with some kneeling poses where we're not actually on the sofa yet, but we're going to use it to help us do our pose. So we're going to start by getting some really fantastic booty shots, which the reason that I love starting with booty poses, whether you're taking them yourself or shooting a client, is because it warms up our body, okay? It gets our spine ready to go. It gets folks feeling comfortable in front of the camera. And it's pretty hard, in my opinion, to not love a booty pic. So let's start there, okay? There's two ways we can go about this. We can either push our booty towards the camera or we can push our booty towards the light. In this case, I'll show you both so that you can tweak and give both a shot when you're in your own home or in your own studio. So let's start with towards the camera. Anytime we push something towards the camera, it's going to appear bigger and it's going to really be our focal point. So if you're like, yep, I want a booty pic, then maybe we're going to push towards the camera, okay? Now using a sofa, and where you are, we're forming a little bit of a triangle, which means I need to be at an angle on this sofa. Actually, I'm on the floor, but knees are going to be staggered, toes flat against the floor, and we're going to push our booty back towards our camera, let our head drop, let all that hair fall around me, and you're going to hang out right here. You could also, switch up which legs you're using, totally up to you. You can also maybe drop into a little popped toe, things like that. What we want to keep in mind is that if something can bend, we bend it. So we like to have obviously knees bent, elbows bent, head and neck bent. And we want to try to keep some tension throughout our body. So toes pointed, calf muscles engaged, booty muscles engaged, tummy dropped towards the ground so that our butt can push back a little bit harder. These are kinds of the things that you're going to feel in your body when you're taking these sexy selfies, okay? Now, what happens if I want to push my butt towards the light instead? To me, this is more about showing off the whole body and legs included. So maybe you're like, I really love my legs. Okay, great. Then this is the pose that I want you to do, okay? My light is behind me. Sofa's in front of me. What I'm going to do is take the leg that is closest to the camera and I'm going to bring that forward. My leg that is farthest from the camera, I want to extend that one behind. Why? Because we're looking for asymmetry. We like things to be staggered. This is not visually as interesting as this, okay? And we want to keep, again, toes pointed, all that good stuff. Now, the reason that we're hanging out right here, I'm going to push my booty back, right? The reason that we're doing this with our legs instead of the other way is because of our anatomy, right? So if you reach behind, you're like, okay, what do I feel? I feel a booty cheek. What do I feel behind my booty cheek? The other booty cheek. Great. So we're gonna create definition. You're gonna be able to see the curve of your curves, and you're gonna get definition between booty cheeks, which is what we want. Let's see what happens if I did it the other way though. If we kept the back leg forward and we took our forward leg and brought that back, now what happens? Can you even see my back cheek? Not really. This one's covering everything. So now we just have one butt cheek. But we don't have one butt cheek, we have two. So let's try to show both, okay? So if you've ever wondered, God, why doesn't this pose look right? It's probably because you're hiding your own body with your body. No, we don't want to do that. Easy to get lost and do that. Trust me, I've made the same mistake, but that's why, okay? So we want to show off our curves and all that good stuff, and we can do that with posing. So if you're going to have a leg facing the camera, let's keep that one forward. The leg far away from the camera, we'll keep that one back. That can be extended. Okay, but see, really, it's a pretty simple pose. Tummy's dropped, booty's pushed back, head is dropped because we want to bend our neck. We can bring our hands up here if you want to get real spicy with it. We can. It's extremely hard to talk into this microphone and show you poses at the same time, but you get the idea, okay? And there's a lot of ways that you can spice up this pose without having to move your clients a lot, or if you're taking your own selfies without having to like move your camera and things like that. There are ways to tweak that pose so you get a lot of variety without having to do a ton of movement. Okay, so what if we actually want to be on our sofa now? We don't want to be on the floor anymore, or maybe you have bad knees or your client has bad knees and kneeling on a hard surface like a floor is a no-go. Let's use a soft surface like on our sofa. This is still going to be a kneeling pose, but I'm going to show you how we can do the same pose two different ways so we get a lot of variety without you having to remember another pose, right? Because it's literally the same thing, just flipped, okay? So let's do another booty pose. We just got done with a really, really amazing booty pose. Let's do one more. We're going to be facing away from the camera. So you're over here. Hello, I'm going to face that direction. I'm going to be on my knees. If I can, I want my booty to touch my heels. And I'm going to try to do what? Push my butt towards the camera, okay? So here I am on my sofa. I'm going to kneel all the way down if I can. If your client can't, that's okay. You can always hold yourself up a little bit too, but I do think it's a little bit harder to hold yourself up. So you might want to pivot and do a different pose. But if you can sit all the way down on your heels, great. I'm going to push that butt back towards our camera. And odds are you are wearing lingerie or something a little bit more skin showing than what I have on. So you're going to grab onto your bodysuit or your lingerie and you're going to pull up. And you're going to give yourself a little bit of a wedgie, okay? We love wedgies during boudoir sessions. And then at the same time, my elbows are what? They're bent because we want to bend stuff. And if you have hair that you really, really love, or you have a partner who loves your hair, here is your opportunity to show it off. So we're going to let all that hair fall behind us. You can give it a little shake if you want to incorporate some movement. You can bring your hands underneath booty cheeks to show them off a little bit more. You can do like that little yoga pose. You can do a little yoga pose and grab onto your forearms. If you're wearing a bra, you can pretend to unbutton the bra, or unclip it rather. You could fully unclasp it if you want, but do you see? All I'm doing is sitting and kneeling. And what did we get? Wedgie shot, booty cheek shot, hair photo, bra photo, stretching photo. I mean, we just got like 5 different shots, in 10 seconds. So if you are a boudoir photographer and you're trying to get the absolute most out of your sessions, make little tiny tweaks to your poses. And you're going to get so much more variety for your client. They're going to be happy, you're going to be happy, and they didn't have to do, oh, do this kneeling pose, now we're going to move. Do this pose, now we're going to move. No, get a whole bunch of poses from one basic pose, okay? Now, as promised, and I'm a woman of my word, we're gonna do that exact same pose, but now I'm gonna face towards the camera. So I'm still gonna pop down on my knees, but instead of focusing on pushing my booty back, that can help us like elongate ourselves a little bit. This is a little more about chest. So we wanna bring chest forward towards the camera. And then same thing, I can bring my hands up into my hair. Now, since my light is over here, I would encourage you to bring head towards the light so we get your face beautifully illuminated. You can grab on 2 straps and pull those away from your body. You can let them fall off your shoulders if you want. You can grab onto your bodysuit again and do the exact same wedgie pose. But now we're pulling up and you get to see it from the front. It's the same thing, just in reverse, basically. If you are a photographer, your clients may not even have to move. You could just move and shoot them from both ways. And they're going to feel like pros because they're going to be like, oh, I just did all of these. I can just do it again. If you're doing your own DIY sexy selfies, easy enough to just flip around and do the exact same poses again. Okay, last pose that I want to show you on the sofa. We'll actually sit on it this time, the way the furniture maker probably intended for it to be used, We'll sit on it, okay. And I'm going to take advantage of this like sunspot that's coming in here. So to me, this pose is a little more powerful. We're taking up a little bit more space. So that's kind of the emotion that we want to convey behind it. What you need to do is sit on the edge of your sofa so we're not leaning back. There's a lot of space between where our bum is and where the back of the sofa is. We want to take our legs. We're going to open them up a little bit, okay? Power pose, a little bit more spicy, a little more commanding, a little more domineering. We want to keep our toes pointed if we can. If only one works, that's okay. But we're going to try to keep both pointed if we can. And of course, we want to stagger them a little bit because we love asymmetry. Now with our hands, we can bring them in front if we want to keep some, mystery alive, I guess. And we'll lean forward. Why am I leaning forward? Because I want the biggest thing, the most prominent thing I want photographed in this case is my chest, and I want that pushed towards the camera. My arms are going to kind of act like a push-up bra, right? So they're going to do some work for me. Got our own homemade push-up bra happening. Hands are in front, toes are pointed, knees are bent, and we're leaning forward. We can hang out right here. Eventually, we can keep this exactly the same. We can move our hands up into our hair. We could take one hand and trace down the nape of our neck. We can grab onto bra straps. We can do a hand bra. There's so much we can do just from sitting. Now, if you saw this pose and you're like, oh, I like it, but I'm not sure I want tummy on display, or maybe you have a client who is working through some tummy insecurities. I get it, right? We all have something. Then a blanket, a throw, a bed sheet is going to be your best friend. And honestly, if you're willing to do some implied nudity, this is a great photo for that because you're not wearing anything, but nothing is showing. We're using a blanket to fully cover everything. So again, we're alluding to a lot of sensuality by being like, hoo, 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 they don't have any clothes on, but you're not showing anything if you don't want to. If you want to, you could drop the blanket. You could have no blanket. But since we're trying to talk a little bit about tummy insecurities with this one, let's go back to that pose. Let's bring our blanket up and cover our chest. Well, what should we do with this one? Well, we should bend it in some way, right? So we're going to bring that elbow back. We're going to lean forward because we still want our chest going towards the camera. And we can hang out right here. Maybe I grab onto my underwear and pull up and do the wedgie trick again. Maybe I do a little hug around my whole body. Really make the girls look great, right? Maybe we bring this hand now into our hair, away from our hair. Maybe we want to shake out our hair. So much we can do to just get little tweaks to a basic pose, right? Does that make sense? Hopefully. And then the more often you take sexy selfies, the more often you get photographed by a professional boudoir photographer, the more comfortable you'll start to feel. And then maybe eventually you'll want to go full pose with no sheet in front of you, right? It's just about practicing. It just takes time to get comfortable in front of the camera. But I'm hoping that these poses will help you do just that. All right, so there you have it. There was a few ways to use a sofa for some DIY posing help, or if you're a boudoir photographer, some new poses that you can try out with your clients on your own sofa at home. Let me know in the comments if this was helpful, if you would like me to do more DIY posing ideas in your home rather than a boudoir studio, let me know. And stay tuned for next week. Like the video, subscribe if you're looking for boudoir photography education or self-love education. That's what I put out every Saturday. And I will see you all again next week.